to my channel, I am Rose Quartz, here with Rose Quartz. Look at these beautiful babes. They're just so amazing. These are like two of my newer rose quartz pieces. Like, I have so much rose quartz. That's probably the crystal I have the most of. How ironic. But how are you all doing today? I hope you all are having just a magical, wonderful, beautiful day and week and just life in general. I am feeling expansive, free, light, happy, abundant, all that good stuff. I'm feeling like I'm 90s out right now. Like, look at these shades, look at this pattern, look at my hair, like these nails. Like, I'm just 90s out. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. But yes, back to it. Thank you so much for tuning into this video today. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for tuning in and joining the Rose Quartz family. Super excited to have you here. And if you've already been here, thank you so much for continuing to tune into the messages. Super stoked to have you here. I'm glowing. You see that glow? Shoot. But today I want to talk about, and if you don't already know, on my channel we talk about self-evolution, self-expansion, self-actualization, manifestation, enlightenment, everything that's connected to being your best self and creating your best life. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What we're going to talk about today is actually a very, I feel like, complex topic, a very intricate topic, because it's about spiritual ego. Spiritual ego, like, what is the spiritual ego? How can there even be a spiritual ego? Is there a spiritual ego? What is our regular ego? What is spirituality? Like, all those things, we're gonna hit all of those topics right now. So, what is spiritual ego? I felt inspired to talk about this today because this is something that I have transformed recently through my own personal life, and I feel like it would really, the knowledge would really be of use to the community, to the collective. Because especially nowadays, and I feel like the reason that there is so much spiritual ego being manifested and created within us all is because spirituality, there's become a market for spirituality. There's become a, an image of spirituality. Like, oh, spirituality is being vegan, spirituality is yoga, spirituality is meditation, spirituality is this. Those are all aspects of living a enlightened spiritual life, depending on the person and the individual, but that is not the path or the way or the definition of spirituality. And how this comes into play with our spiritual ego is because over time, and I've seen it so much, especially because we have now been marketing spirituality as something you can buy. Oh, you can buy spirituality with a yoga class. You can buy spirituality at a retreat. You know, we've created that now, especially with social media and just the millennial age. We've definitely created that. But what's important for us to realize is we're manifesting that through ourselves. And how I'm connecting this also to myself is how I was saying earlier, that this is something that I have recently transformed out of, because for myself, I realized that once I started to become self-aware and I started to grow and evolve and change and really, you know, become spiritual and awaken and all of those things, I over time definitely created a spiritual ego for myself. I started to dress different. I started to dress how I thought a spiritual person dressed. I only wanted to listen to music that I thought a spiritual person would listen to. I wouldn't watch anything on TV. I went through, like, TV's not the best thing ever, but it's not horrible. It's not horrible depending on how you use it. And I was like, no TV, I can't do TV, I can't do anything or be around anyone or listen to anything, nothing. If it's not spiritual, count me out. I'm too spiritual. I'm too spiritual. That's where I was at for a while. And that's where many of us end up manifesting our own selves at, because we start to believe that spirituality is this path. There's only a straight line. That looked like a little tut right there, but anyways. We just think that it's just one path to spirituality, and then we manifest this spiritual ego because we're now beginning to believe that we have to define or limit ourselves to one way of being and to one path of existence, and believe this is the path to enlightenment, this is the path to spirituality. And if other people aren't doing that, I'm too good for them. They're not on my level. Nope. If you're not on this level, if you're not dressing spiritual, listening to spiritual stuff, doing spiritual stuff, no, you're not on my level. No. And many of us do that. I've seen healers do this, and it's not something that, you know, I don't feel that they're aware of. I've seen healers do this. I've seen regular people do this, all beings. I've seen artists do this. Everyone has in some form done this through their spiritual journey. Or maybe not everyone, but it is definitely something that's very common nowadays, where we create a spiritual ego to where we believe that spirituality is in a box. But how for me I transformed this is realizing, as I was creating a spiritual ego, I really just started to distance myself from myself. I literally started to manifest a whole different person for myself. I just started to look different, dress different. I had to be totally natural. You know, I can't wear any makeup. I can't do anything that I define as not spiritual. And what it really did was trap me in a cage of existence. I believed that I had to be one way, or I would not be accepted by the universe, by God, by people, by the spiritual life and community if I wasn't in this box. And I feel like a lot of times we also get ourselves into situations like that if we're connected to religion. Now, no shame on religion. If that's what makes you so happy and so connected to God, I'm so happy for you. Keep doing that. But a lot of times I've seen this as well within people that are Christian and things like that, Jehovah's Witness, people that are along those lines. They create a spiritual ego, which is basically superiority. If you don't follow the way I believe things are, you're not of God, you're not connected. Like, no, if you're not living this life, you're not of God. And that is kind of the mentality that I brought onto myself, and I see that many of us are doing. Now, for me, how I transformed out of this is by authentically deciding to be myself and deciding, wow, like, I was dressing this way, but like over time it was like, I don't want to wear these clothes. I want to put on makeup because it's fun. There's just like a really weird bug that just like dropped, so it just scared the crap out of me. Oh my god. Anyways, I'm back. I don't know what that is. I hope it doesn't jump on me. Oh my gosh. Anyways, but we create this spiritual ego, and for me, how I transformed out of this is by deciding that I could be whoever I wanted to be. There was not one way for me to be spiritual. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I'm not a human having a spiritual experience. So therefore, however I decide to dress, look, think, listen to music, watch, is all, as long as it's in alignment with my spirit and I feel intuitively that this is me, that is the most spiritual thing I could ever do in my life. Because when we are tapped into the essence of who we truly are, that is the most spiritual place to be in the world. Because when you are really being you and you are tapped into your authentic self, into your heart space, into your spirit, that is spirituality. That is God. The true essence of who you are being expressed into this world, that is God. And that's who God wants you to be. That's who the universe wants you to be. Not some confining box of what spirituality is supposed to look like, or it's supposed to look like a workshop or a diet or a music. Spirituality is you. You are the spirituality. however you decide to create that for yourself is a beautiful thing. And however you decide to do that is what you get to do, because you are the authoritator over your life. No one controls you. Nothing controls you. And we often get into these mind frames, especially with religion and with the spiritual ego, where we believe that the universe or God is something outside of us. Therefore, we have to create ourselves to be worthy and to be enough. You know, that whole thing. We're sinners living in a fallen world. Like, that's such bullcrap. Like, what even is that? We are all beautiful, whole, amazing beings just as we are. And God loves us regardless. No one is better than another, regardless of your spiritual practice or spiritual connection. Because inevitably, even if someone's not even aware of their spiritual connection, they still have it. So that's how I see everyone. I see, even if you're not embodying that source energy within you, you still are source energy. You still are made of love. You still are the embodiment of love, even if you don't know it. So it's important as well that we know things like that, so we don't let our spiritual ego take over and then believe that we're better than someone, or that we can't express ourselves how we want to. Because let's keep it real. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stand in your power, is cuss someone out, is stand in your truth, is say what's up, is wear clothes that you really want to, listen to music that you really want to. Because if I'm, being honest, certain music that I feel makes me feel the most me and the most confident and the most powerful and the most like, gonna get the money, that's not spiritual. That's how I viewed it. But I was like, wait. If this music makes me feel the most me, the most connected to myself, how is this not spiritual? This is the most spiritual thing I could ever be doing in my entire life. And that is why I wanted to talk about this today, because we're so, I don't want to say we're all so, but we've been so focused on trying to be spiritual that we forgot what it even really is and who we really are, in an attempt to cage ourselves in. I know for me, I noticed that in my music. My music is dope and super amazing, but for a while I thought it only had to be like conscious, spiritual, and I was like, I feel very confined within my own self-expression, because I have to be this way in order to be spiritual. And it was like, no, I don't. And however I decide to express myself is how I'm going to change the world. And that's the most important point to take from this all, is when you are developing and caging yourself into a spiritual ego, you're not offering the world yourself and your most authentic you. And your most authentic you is what's going to change the world. Your light, your love is what's going to transform everything. But when you're not being you, your light isn't shining, your love isn't being embodied. When you're caging yourself into a definition of who you think you should be and not being who you truly are, you're limiting your very existence and capabilities of being all you can be and feeling all you can feel in this life and beyond. And that's why I really felt so passionate to talk about this, because it's time that we arise out of these limitations and be whoever we decide to be, and decide that we're spiritual beings. We don't have to change. We don't have to confine ourselves to a way of looking, dressing, thinking, nothing. You can be who and what and how and say whatever you want. And as long as you love you and you feel in alignment with yourself and your being and the source energy in the universe within and around you, you have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. It's all within you. The spirituality is within you. Case closed. Cheers. Cheers with water. Usually I have a smoothie, but I already drank it. Stay hydrated. I just love pink. It's so cute. It's so me. It's so colorful today. But anyways, truly I really hope that you all really like connected to this and truly feel the energy of this, and now feel even more empowered to be yourself authentically, and know that the universe supports you and loves you no matter who you are, what you decide to wear, what you decide to listen to, what you decide to create in this world, what career you decide to do. If you're in alignment with you, that's the most spiritual place to be. So yes, I hope you felt that message. I hope you felt it, and I'm gonna continue to spend time with my rose quartz babies. Third eye love, throat chakra love, heart chakra love. To see them again, they're so beautiful. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to another video of mine. I'm so grateful that you have been here. I really hope that this empowered and inspired you to fully authentically be you, because there's no one else like you, and the world needs the real you, not who you think you should be. So yes, sending you all so much love. Hugs. Can't hug you, so I'll just hug myself. Make sure to check out my next video. It will be up next week, videos every week. Also check out my podcast. It is now available for listening on Spotify, the Rose Quartz Podcast. Definitely check that out. And my music is also on SoundCloud, Lucky 7 Mixtape. I'm on Instagram as well, and I am Rose Quartz. I'm everywhere. There's so much stuff. I will leave it all in the description box below. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I love you all so much. Have a beautiful, 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 beautiful rest of your day, rest of